Okay, y'all, so today I'm gonna be doing a story time, and I haven't done a story time in years. Like, it's been a hot minute. So today I'm gonna be doing the story time because I was thinking about this the other day. I was like looking through my camera roll, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, this was probably one of the most bizarre things that has happened to me in my life. Like I can't even explain to y'all how I felt when this happened, but basically this is just gonna be the story time about how maintenance broke into my apartment and trashed the place. Yeah, so basically, to give a little backstory, first of all, I had this woman that lived below me, and she was probably like in her late 30s, I have no idea, but yeah, and she was pretty cool. Like, she was like, you know, like, she was just like she was just cool. And like, you know, every now and then, like when I first moved into that apartment, like, you know, she introduced herself, like we got kind of comfortable with each other and everything was straight. But yeah, but that slowly sort of started to change, because so there's this one time I was getting back home from work, and I noticed, like, when I went and parked, I noticed that her blinds were open, and she was on the first floor. I was on the second floor, she was on the first. And I noticed her blinds were open, which was like unusual. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm sure she's not looking out for me and like waiting for me to come home and like seeing when I get home. Like, there's no way. So yeah, I get out of my car, I start to go up the stairs, and surely enough, she comes out of her apartment and she was like, hey Zoe, like la 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 la. And she was basically going on saying like, hey, so like your floors, they're really loud, blah blah blah, all this stuff, which I did notice. Like, when I first moved into that apartment, I noticed that basically like the right corner of my bedroom, like a part of the floor, it was loud even on like my end. So yeah, she was saying the floors are really loud and I can hear every single footstep. And I'm like, I was kind of standing there for a second like, you can hear every single footstep? Like, girl, let's be for real for a second. Like, you can hear every single footstep because you're tuned in and you're listening to my footsteps. Like, because like I've lived in an apartment before where I've had people above me, and yeah, sometimes you can hear their footsteps, whatever, like, but like I'm not gonna tune in and like be like I didn't even need an Apple Watch. Like, homegirl could have counted my steps and told me like my steps. Like, so I just thought that was so odd, because I was like, what do you mean you can hear every single footstep? And I will say, the night before, I think I got up like around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, which I was like, okay, she's probably talking about this. But I mean, I got up. It's just, you know, it was one of those nights where I got up and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I went to the bathroom, I went to the kitchen, got a drink, got a little snack, and went to the living room and chilled out for a bit. So I was like, okay, she's probably talking about that. But girl, saying you can hear every single footstep, like, that's so dramatic. Like, let's calm down. But yeah, I was just like, okay. Like, and also I was 20, I think I was 21 at the time. Yeah, I had to be 21. And I was just like, okay, like, girl, what? That's not my problem. But yeah, so then she goes on to be like, and yeah, like, I let maintenance know, blah blah blah. And I'm like, girl, first of all, you're listening to my steps, every single one of my steps apparently, and two, you're calling maintenance for my apartment. Like, you can at least like talk to me first, or we could even go up to the office together and like talk about it. But like, why are you calling maintenance for my apartment? Like, worry about your own apartment first, okay? So I was just like, okay. And so she was like, they'll probably get in contact with you and like let you know the further steps, no pun intended. But yeah, so I can't even remember exactly like the timeline or how it went, but yeah, basically like a couple days later, one of the maintenance guys, he comes to my apartment. And y'all, and I've always said this, like, you know, I've always said I wanted to learn Spanish, which I'm gonna make it a goal this year. A New Year's resolution. But I'm gonna make it a goal this year to learn Spanish. Okay, y'all can hold me to that, okay? But yeah, so this maintenance guy, he comes and he only speaks Spanish. So I was trying to explain to him, you know, what was going on, and then he brought out this translator that was on his phone, and like I had to talk to it, he had to talk to it. It was just a whole thing. So I was just explaining to him what happened, blah blah blah, and I even showed him the one part in my bedroom that made like the loudest noise, and I was like, see, it's like this, like you hear the sound, like it's like this, like that's like what she's complaining about. And he was like, oh, okay, like yeah, I get it, blah blah blah. And then he was like, okay, I'll come back and like basically like, you know, like inspect it or whatever. And I was like, cool, okay. And so yeah, he comes back and he like, you know, is like stepping on the floor, you know, listening for the sound. And he was like, well, this might like require more people and more tools and more stuff to fix, so I'm gonna have to come back later with my crew, like another day. I was like, okay, like yeah, just let me know, blah blah blah. Right? Let me know. Okay? So literally it was like a couple days after that. Like I remember it was a Thursday. It was a Thursday and I got off of work, and y'all, y'all, I get off of work, right? When I tell y'all, it was like in slow motion, the way this all happened. I opened my door. I opened my door, y'all. And the way my confusion and my anger was at 100. Because first of all, I could not tell y'all what I was looking at, but I knew somebody had been in my personal space, touching my stuff, just being in my personal space without my permission. Y'all, this is what I see. Imagine you come home from work and you see this. Like, why is my mattress on my couch? And why is basically all of my bedroom furniture just scattered around my apartment? Also, y'all, I forgot to leave out a very, very important detail, which was in the bathroom. As you can see, the toilet seat is wide open. Both of the lids are wide open. Not because of me, but because one of them peed in the toilet, left both the lids open, and didn't flush. Like I know I left it low-key a mess from getting ready for work, but I know I didn't leave it this much of a mess. So what the hell is going on? So of course I just basically, as any 21-year-old woman would do, I spiraled. I was so mad, I was crying, and I called my mom and I was like telling her what happened, but of course she couldn't even understand me at first. That's how upset I was, y'all. Like, cause just basically like just the fact that somebody was in, like, it was just an invasion. It was an invasion of my privacy. Like, I can't even speak. I'm getting upset. I'm getting upset just thinking about it. But it was just so, like, I just felt so disrespected, and it was just so like, it's just like my personal stuff, like, that they were touching and moving around, like, without my permission. Like, they did not tell me they were coming. They did not say what day, what time, nothing. The leasing office didn't tell me. The maintenance people didn't tell me. Nobody told me, y'all. Like, literally, it was like I might as well have gotten robbed. Like, that's basically like the same feeling that it was. But I mean, luckily none of my stuff was missing, but it was just the fact that my stuff was touched. So yeah, I was just so freaking upset about it. And so Luckily, like, my mom, she is seriously like the most beautiful, gracious, nicest angel on the planet, and she always gonna look out for her girl. So she called the leasing office and basically gave them an earful and was like, told them what happened. And so they were very apologetic and they were very understanding, but it's just the fact that it already happened. So like, you can apologize and like whatever, I can forgive, but I'm not gonna forget, because like this like what happened is already done. Like, I already feel like disrespected and just invaded. So I think it was literally, I think they said literally the next day that the maintenance people would come back and they would apologize and fix the issue. I was like, cool, whatever, like they can come like while I'm at work or whatever, blah blah blah. Like, I don't even care. Like, I to be honest, I did not even want to talk to them. I didn't want to look at them, nothing, because like, one, I was like low-key embarrassed, even though I shouldn't have been. They're the ones that should have been embarrassed. And it was just like, I just was too upset with them to even talk to them. But they did come the next morning before I went to work, and the main maintenance guy, he apologized, and he basically was explaining like why they left it like that. And he was saying something like, or I can't remember, I think the leasing office talked to him and then they told me what happened, or I can't remember, but either way, he was basically saying that something happened, like he had a family emergency, and that they just had to leave. And I was just kind of like, all of y'all had to leave? Like, I get it, he could have left and like the rest of them could have finished the job and putting all my stuff back, but like, I have no idea, y'all. I have no idea why they all were just like, okay, yeah, let's leave it like this, like let's not tell her nothing, let's just leave it like this. Like, it was crazy. Like, it made no sense to me, but at the same time I was like, whatever, like I'm willing to move on, but I'm not gonna forget this. Like, so yeah, but he was really nice and he was a cool guy, but it was just still the fact that I was just like, I don't know, I just honestly was just so upset with them, because it was just crazy. And I feel like in a way it's like low-key illegal what they did, but to be honest, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know nothing about that stuff. So yeah, then I went off to work, and then they cleaned everything up, put everything back, and they even low-key broke my bed, y'all, because like they took it apart, but when they put it back together, I don't think they knew how to, because like they didn't have the instructions or nothing. But it's also like, why are you taking apart the whole bed? Like, what? Like, that made no sense to me. And the fact that like they didn't even have to move the bed, like the spot of where I told them and where they fixed, it wasn't even near my bed. Like, it was in the corner, like it wasn't near my bed. So yeah, I was just like, but yeah, they didn't even fix my bed or nothing. But it was just at that point, I was just like, whatever, like I don't care, like I just want my stuff all back to how it was. But yeah, it was one of the craziest experiences that has ever happened to me. But yeah, and it was basically because of homegirl's fault. It was her fault. Like, girl, what are you complaining about? And also, why did you call maintenance? And it's probably also, now that I'm thinking about it, what if they were like communicating with her about it? But I don't know, I have no idea. Like, but all I know is that they never told me, they never informed me on nothing, like nothing. But they ended up fixing the spot, like fixing, even though later on it made noises again. But yeah, it's just looking back on it, it was honestly so crazy. Like, in the moment it was crazy and like I was just so upset, but looking back I'm like, that's crazy, because I feel like it's low-key illegal just to come in someone's apartment without their permission. Because usually, like, I would like to be at my apartment if I can when maintenance is here, just because like there's a stranger coming into your home. Like, But it's also the fact that now I have cameras in my apartment and outside of my apartment. So yeah, so get cameras, y'all, because you never know. You never know. But yeah, that was the story time about how maintenance broke into my apartment and trashed the place. But yeah, it was just a crazy experience. It was very wild because, like, literally, when I tell y'all my stuff was everywhere, my stuff was everywhere. I was like, how do y'all even expect me? I'm just a girl. Like, I can't put all this stuff back together and, like, put it back to where it belongs. Like, are y'all crazy? But yeah, like, I just can't believe they left it like that. But at least it gave me a good video and a good story time to tell. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and look out for future videos. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.